I started in law enforcement in 1996. I worked the road for about 3 months after graduating the academy. And by default, I was called into the sheriff's office, and he asked me if I'd like a shot at going to the DEA task force. While I was at DEA, I learned an immense amount. Got a lot of good training. I got some paramilitary training to fight the war on drugs. During that time, I was able to go to sniper schools, air assault school, different type schools. After spending 5 years with the DEA task force, the planes hit the buildings, and they stood up the air marshal program. I became an air marshal. I stayed an air marshal for about, not quite 2 years, about a year and a half, 18 months or so. I got a phone call from a friend and said they were looking for counter snipers in Afghanistan. While I was there in Afghanistan, word got to me that they were looking for other government agency was looking for skill sets that we had. I was fortunate enough to pass that vetting process, and I was sent to other countries, Iraq and other places. I was fortunate enough to come back from those places. I served with other government agency until about 2009 in field operations. And then I had the opportunity to go to a training center and train those people. That's where it is from there. I basically finished my career there doing that. My son, as a wounded veteran of Iraq, got blown up in Iraq in 2006. He healed quite well. The hospital and all the doctors did great care. They took great care of him. He was able to heal, and he's become a policeman. And in the interim of that time, he decided he wanted to create a training business to train people so that they could better operate and give them maybe an edge that they wouldn't get anywhere else without the training. So he and I started Austere Environment Training, and that's where we train folks to shoot long guns. We are based out of Texas, north of Houston, Madisonville, Texas. The background, real-world experience, and the agencies that I've been with have taught me many, many special skills, along with friends that I've worked with, other operators, stellar guys, just unbelievable operators. There's many, many of them out there. Every time you deploy, you learn something from each other. I was fortunate enough to work with very good guys that I learn a little something from every time I deploy. So we teach precision rifle. I was able to get into that because of my background experience, training, and real world experience. We chose long gun because that's my specialty. I've actually done it for real world missions, many of them, stateside and abroad. We did immense amount of precision rifle coverage for methamphetamine raids and for ATF, for DEA, extra rifle coverage, if you will. The reason I believe that I have the experience to teach this is because I actually used much field craft not to be compromised, especially on meth labs and stuff like that. So I was required to slip into areas in a rural and urban environment, make my way in, set up a hasty hide. Sometimes I didn't use a hide, just a ghillie suit actually, because we were on the green side of things. A lot of times they cooked methamphetamine out in the national forest, and we had to put eyes on them. Or you would have a location, a residence that was on the edge of a field down some dirt road somewhere, and you can only get within 300 yards of it. So I actually did it for real and couldn't get compromised because those folks were carrying guns as well. This training that we offer, training that we provide, is not for everyone. The precision rifle portion of it, we try to make it enjoyable. It's a fun day at the range, if you will. You learn how to shoot targets at long range. We usually use, obviously, a 308 or anything a little bit larger. So the precision rifle portion of it, I find a lot of people have fun coming to the course. They buy themselves a good precision rifle, put a good scope on there, get some good ammo, and then we go out and have an enjoyable time learning how to use that rifle scope correctly. We've had success by taking a person who's never shot a precision rifle before and in 3 days have them hit targets out to 600 yards successfully. And I don't mean a 20 by 40 Iron Maiden. I'm talking about a pistol target that's 12 inches wide and 16 inches high. The second portion of the training that I offer is fieldcraft, which mixes precision rifle with operations in the field. That's not open to anyone. That's not open to just anyone. That's open to law enforcement and people that have a clear background. There is no PT in any of my courses. I expect you to come in shape. You don't need to pay me to get you in shape. If you don't come in shape, then that's on you. And you're gonna have a pretty rough time of it. I truly believe that the law enforcement community and security industry needs this training. It's essential the way the world is turned today with terrorism. I believe we need to counter the threat. Years ago, 20 years ago, there was terrorism, but not like it is today. That threat is here. I don't care what anybody says. I know for sure it's here. That said, it doesn't take much for a couple of folks to grab a couple of AKs and stand off about 300 meters and shoot at your vehicles, put up a hard point in an elevated position where law enforcement can't get to them. That's an issue. And unless law enforcement opens their eyes a little bit more to what the threat really is, I think we could find ourselves in a bad position. And so I think you'll see that threat today. High explosives are hard to get their hands on. AKs and other type rifles are very easy, through the right hands, of course. And some ammunition and a little bit of training. And law enforcement or security operations has their hands full. You need to counter that threat. You need to be able to engage that threat at standoff distances greater than 400 yards.